God's purposes know no haste and no delay. He does things in the fullness of time. Amen. God's providence and his timing are perfect. We just need to trust it and trust him. The song is really upon my heart. It's a song you know, but it reinforces the fact that and his timing are perfect, and we just have to trust and work with what he does. Escape to Jesus, please come fast. Lazarus is sick, and without your help, he will not last. Mary and Martha watched their brother die. They waited for Jesus. He did not come, they wondered why. The death watch was over. He was buried for 4 days. Somebody said he'll soon be here. Lord's on his way. Martha ran to him, and then she cried, Lord, if you had been here, you could have healed him, he'd still be alive. But you're 4 days late, and all hope is gone. Lord, you don't understand why you waited so long. You see, his way is God's way, not yours or mine. Now wherever we pray, he's always late, and he's still on time. Jesus said, Martha, show me his grace. But she said, Lord, you don't understand. He's been buried 4 days. Oh, but the gravestone was rolled back. Then Jesus cried, Lazarus, come forth. he has not appeared. Oh, friends, don't be discouraged, for God still the same. He'll soon be here. He'll roll back your stone and call out your name. And though he days late, it seems all your hope is gone. Oh, you don't understand why he's taking so long. You see, his way is God's way. Now isn't it great? He's always late and he's still on time. Oh, my God is great. Though he's always late, he's still on time. Still on
It is rewarding to know that God is always on time. I want to thank Bernice for the timely reminder that we serve an on-time God and one who is always there for us and will be there even until the very end. Joy it is to be with you this morning and to see those of you who are in church. Let me first of all say congratulations to young Darby, who is graduating today. Future studies at NCU, and today is preparing for the confirmation of her degree tomorrow. So we want, and the others, I do not know who else from here, but there are others who may be from here. I also take time out to congratulate everyone and trust that you will continue to progress as you enter the world of work. Let me join also in saying welcome. I'm happy to see Brother Lee at church today. And I'm going to ask Brother Lee to stand now. And we're happy to see you in worship very first day, and he was baptized before he entered, and we are happy for that, everybody. So Brother Lee is the husband of Sister Lee, who has been always here, and he was away off the island. He's here now and has joined the Albion Seventh Baptist Church. Give God thanks. You will be entered into fellowship as time goes by. Let me see that. Let me also take time off to mention the presence of Sister Campbell. Because since we baptized, I have not been here. But Sister Campbell is in the back, the mother-in-law of Brother Wright, and the mother of Sister Wright, was baptized in the church. And we're happy to have her here. And also little Edwards was baptized. Where Edwards is, I don't see her. Maybe outside. But she was here this morning, we baptized young little Edwards also. And I'm promising you that between now and next week, I was hoping to do so today, is here, church clerk is absent, and so forth. So I'll receive you into fellowship, hopefully next Sabbath. I want all of you who are recently baptized to be at church next Sabbath to be received into church fellowship. And I also have for you a special gift from the conference office in my hand right now. I will not give it out today until I receive you into fellowship next week. So please bear that in mind. Alright, so it is good to see everybody here at worship. And for those who are not well, I learned SB, not well. And Brother Smalling is also not well. And another person, Sister Daly. Wow, vibrant Sister Daly gone. Sister Daly is always around. But I'm happy to see back Brother Daly here, because he too was not well, and he's back with us in the house of God. Let me trust Sister Daly will, and her little grandson will be back as early as possible. All right, today, my brothers and sisters, I'm going to ask you to take your Bibles and turn with me to the book of Kings. 1 Kings, chapter 17. And I'm going to read verse starting at verse 9. 1 Kings 17. I start reading at verse 9. And I think I'll stop at verse 14. 9 to 14. I'm going to read that in your hearing. 1 Kings chapter 17, verses 9 to 14. Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. And so he arose and went to Zarephath. When he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there, gathering sticks. We would say gathering wood in Jamaica. And he called to her and said, fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, that I may drink. And as she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, bring me, I pray thee, with the water, a morsel of bread. And she said, as the Lord thy God liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, and then die. And Elijah said unto her, fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me therefore a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and thy son. So unselfishly. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not lace, neither shall the cruse of oil, until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth. It was a drought. It could have been a flood. Could have been the darkening of the sun. The wind could have stopped blowing. Whatever the situation may have been, a disaster was looming. Drought is not an unusual phenomenon. Even in our days, we experience drought. Sometimes you wonder if rain would fall again. But in the midst of this situation, the voice of Elijah was heard saying, "Fear not. Fear not. For one of the last day signs of the earth, the Bible tells us, will be fear. Fear is gripping the hearts of many around the world. There are those who will tell you that coronavirus 19, Corona 19, is not what is killing many people. It is fear. The hearts of men are failing them for fear. But here was Elijah seeking to comfort the heart of this widow woman, telling her, "Fear not." I want to say to you today, fear not. Just go and do as thou hast said. She said to the woman in her distress, "Make me therefore a little cake first." When the woman's oil was going down and her meal was drifting, Elijah should have, I thought, would have said, "Make thyself a little cake first." But Elijah said, "Make me first a little cake and bring it unto me. And after you make it for thee, after you make it for me, you will see the end results." The Bible said she went, and this must be by faith, and did according to the saying of Elijah. And she and her house did eat for many days. There's something you can do at all times. If you don't do anything else, you can do this one thing. Take God at His word. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and the Bible says God shall direct thy path. I want you to know today, my brothers and sisters, that in times of what seems to be impossibilities, I want you to know that God will provide. In some way or the other. It may not be your way. It may not be my way. My expectations may not have been met as I would like to have them. But you can be confident of one thing: God will provide. Even when coronavirus 19 have taken some of you out of your jobs, even when you have to be quarantined, and you cannot move about as you wish to make one end meet with the other. In times of strains and difficulties, you can be assured that God will provide. Let us never for 1 minute doubt God's goodness to us. For when we were yet without hope, Jesus brought hope to this earth. Let me tell you that God is a mighty provider. And when the time seems dark and the way seems dismal, I can assure you that God will provide. The story of Elijah and the liberality of the widow prove that God can be trusted even in time of dire extremity. My brothers and my sisters, when we think that there is no hope, God will bring hope and comfort to your hearts. Let me say to you, this story proves that God can be trusted at all times. And truly, we should lay all our cares upon Him. Whether in times of famine, in times of inflation, in times of hard and difficult circumstances, when the house seems that it has nothing inside of it, when there is no money in your pocket, when there is no food in the house, when it seems, my brothers and sisters, that you are at your wit's end, you can have faith and confidence that God will provide. Let me tell you, there was no hope in sight. The famine was still severely sore. The handful of meal, evidently, that this lady has and the cruse of oil was their last shred of hope. Meager it was. Just a handful of meal in her hand. My brothers and sisters, when that was finished, it would be death. Evidently, the widow decided to give up the struggle for survival and then die. She decided that she could not bear it any longer. She would just give up and die. But when you think of giving up, my brothers and sisters, let me say to you, God will provide. Was there any way out? Could she cope any longer? Elijah came on the scene. He came instead of giving to her, he was demanding from her. Especially in these last days, those of us who lived before you felt some hardship. I remember in a pool when I was at West Indies College. I remember quite well when they baked the bread and when they hung up grapes and there was nothing to eat. Going to West Indies College and hung up grapes this whole. All that I could do was to go down the gate and smell the bread. Yes, those days I passed through. And just the smell made a difference. Let me tell you, my brothers and sisters, that when home